Okay, so now you've taken something that might be introductory, something that might be pre-reading, something that before they read a story, you talk or you tell a story before that kid goes to some other piece of work. It's a new element of learning that otherwise wasn't there. That's why we're looking at moving that digitally, because we're now making space inside this classroom box. We can actually expand that classroom box out a little bit. So moving on a little bit further, now I need a real framework to work in, because over here I kind of needed a framework, but I could just hand stuff out as it was time for it. Over here, parents and students need a way that they can go right to whatever they need for the classroom and know where to find it, how to access it, how to maybe even turn it in, another step in the digital classroom, and some place that it's not scattered to the four winds. This makes it easier for the parent, the student, and the teacher. So those are all important things that we're really looking for. Now, let's go another step. And this is actually where we grab an old friend from over here. Remember this math program or reading program that collects data, or that we do in class? Most of those things have learning components with them. They have components that honestly would be really well used with parents at home. So let's take those and let's reintroduce some of those things down here so that we can really get the good out of whatever freemium, which is free that you pay for bits and parts, or something that the district pays for and provides for you and your students. Let's get a little more use out of that, because when we get a little more use out of it, we get more data, the students gain from it, all of us gain from the process. So for me, this is something where I take and I put my students into a program called Delta Math. It's nothing more than me assigning a few problems in an online program that allows the students to put their practice there rather than out of a textbook. Because see, here's the problem. Digital can do things really well that a textbook cannot. I can assign 20 or 30 problems of math to my kids all day long, and that's easy for me. The problem is the student never gets that feedback. The problem is the student never really knows, am I moving forward on this? In the digital space, the computer can tell them right then, did you get it right? Did you get it wrong? Here is how you would do that to get it right, and here's a new problem for you that is a lot like the old one that still allows you to try again until maybe you get your 5 assigned problems correctly. Here's the other advantage to that. Over here, we just gave every student the same amount because we don't know what they need. Over here, the technology is helping us determine for us in real time with that student, do you need another? If you do, here it is. If you don't, good job. And in that case, the technology is helping take our place and taking that frustration for parents and students and lowering it down. Because I'm going to be honest with you, if I'm looking at problems, I would much prefer, whether it's English, math, science, history, etc., to get 5 great responses from my kid than 30 mediocre or really less from my kids. That's what I want to see, and technology can provide that for me. And so now we're moving a little bit more digitally. Let's go a step further. Instead of me creating all the stuff, how about the student create it? Now you say, well, this is great. We do that in class sometimes. Yes, if you can do it in class, and once you can train them on how to do it, because everything on this spectrum requires training on how to do. Just like you as a teacher need training on how to do certain things, use certain programs, or accept a new curriculum, students need the same type of training. But once I've done it with students in class once, can't I have them make a video? Because I'll be honest with you, something they have already become experts in is their phone. Their phone is already something they're experts with. Or their parents, if a child is too young to have a phone, parents are excellent with phones. How many pictures do you remember of your childhood in your photo album? Now ask yourself, how many pictures do you have on your cell phone right now of your kids? Because I would argue that with over 1 trillion photos being taken on cell phones every single year, some of them are of your kids on your phones. parents know how to take pictures and or record videos of their kids on their phones. Or if you're in a one-to-one environment, their kids with their Chromebooks or their iPads, whatever the technology they have, they know how to record their child. So why are we not using that technology for educational purposes? The advantage is we don't have to spend all day or 3 days with a student in the classroom presenting. That student can present at home, do as many takes as they want, do as many screw-ups as they want, or even make a blooper reel if they want, and they don't have to worry about what other students are going to say when they mess up. We're taking that frustration level and we're lowering it. Now, yes, to be fair, we're taking a little bit of frustration level and raising it with technology, but the payoff for kids we know have trouble expressing themselves, or students that really want to make sure they get it right, that frustration level is coming way down because they're in control. And that's the beauty of the digital classroom. You can give students control over their learning. One of the best things that I've done more recently is finding YouTube videos, love those, okay, putting them all in a skill-based or topic-based list and letting the kids choose. Which one do you want to talk about? Which one do you want to tell me about? Now, I teach math, but I'm having students write, record, screencast, make an art project, some version of their reflection on what they know in a format that they choose. Their control means that they are really excited to do it. Additionally, this is real easy if I have a list or a menu of items. This is stuff, by the way, that the third graders, they're already doing, because third graders, every really good thing that we know about how to use technology is really just taking something we learned in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, those grades down here. Centers, stations, choice boards, menus, all of this stuff. We learned it down here. All we're doing is applying it up here. We're using technology to provide those choices to students and provide students the agency and the access they need to learn.